next learning personality is creative Chrissy or creative Chris. Okay, here's a description. These people are warm, humane, compassionate, sentimental, idealistic, spontaneous, flexible. They're enthusiastic. They're insightful. I have one son who this is his second learning style, and he is so good at being with people. These are your people persons, if you will. They love people. They thrive on being around them. That can be a good, bad thing too. I'll explain that in a minute. But this one son of mine, people don't really even have to say anything. Whereas another son of mine that has that logical Larry, he wouldn't read inferences into people's feelings. He just don't get it. This one gets it. Doesn't even have to be by what they said, just the little nuances, the way they acted. He can tell when something's right and when something's wrong. These people are warm and people are drawn to creative Chrissy and Chris. Okay, here's some of their needs and their frustrations. They need drill, but they don't like drill. Because of their spontaneous way of learning, they can be scattered and unorganized. So sometimes they need to be able to take in information, memorization, a little bit more going over, but they don't like it. But it is one of the things that does frustrate them. They don't like competition, like energetic Eddie and energetic Ellie. Oh, no. It's not a competition. We can hurt somebody's feelings, and feelings are of utmost importance. We need a cooperation, not a competition. They don't want anybody feeling left out. And for goodness sakes, they do not like unfriendly people. And they worry what other people think. Now, in doing this workshop, these are the moms in my workshop that worry the most what people think about their homeschooling, how well they do. They don't realize that the rest of us go to sleep at night, put our head down the pillow, we go to sleep, and we couldn't care what people think. We just don't. But these people do. And we can't tell them just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, because it goes to the very core of who they are. Yes, we can help them, and they struggle with it. Matter of fact, when they put their head down on their pillow at night, they think, what did I say? Did I say something wrong? Did I offend this person? I never would have hurt her feelings. They worry more about how they say things or what they said to hurt another person's feelings. Relationships are everything to them. But you see how it can be frustrating. It almost can be crippling, because they feel like they have to people please. And that's what I meant in the earlier workshop when I said it can be a good, bad thing. In some ways, it's crippling because they don't go forward. They don't go forward like Wiggly, like the Wiggly personality, who's the energetic Eddie, or the logical personality, who's the logical Larry, or dependable Diane. They don't really care what anybody thinks. They just go forward. This particular personality can learn from that, not worry about that, go on and realize her kids are her own, and that she needs to chart their progress with the way they learn without a lot of influence from the outside and the people's opinions. But the very core of who she likes makes it, because she likes people, she's a people person, it affects her more than all the other personalities. Also, she tends to be insecure about her new decision to homeschool. She may waffle back and forth, put the kids in public school, take them back out. It's exhausting, because she's a little more insecure about her decision, as opposed to our energetic Eddie, who realized, you know what, an energetic Ellie, I made the right decision for my kids. This is so much better. Or logical Lara, who said, I've done my research. No one has to talk me into it. Or dependable Diane, who's done her research too, and she's organized, going out by lesson plans. Not this one. This particular personality is the hardest each day to say, oh, you know what? I don't know if I'm making progress, because she's insecure. That's a frustration. So they don't like having to explain their feelings. And it's really hard for them to accept even positive criticism. And you think, okay, let me give this to them so they can get better, because I think they want to improve. Well, they do, but it's hard for them to accept it. That's a frustration. And you realize if they can't accept positive criticism, how do we grow? How do we change? They know that. It just doesn't make it easy to accept it. They're not organized. They don't like these details. They just want everybody to have fun and have a good time, because the relationship is the most important thing, not the routine, but the relationship. Okay, so here's one more important thing. They don't want to have to be organized. They need help to be organized. And they don't want to be alone, for goodness sakes. That is torturous for them, to be alone. You think, okay, well, they need some quiet time, because logical Larry or dependable Diane will say, okay, I need some quiet time now to learn. Not these kids. These kids and these teachers thrive by their friends. And yes, they do need to learn how to curb some of that so they can have time to get some of their work done. But also they love being with people. That's their element. That is how they thrive. So they do need to find a balance. But these kids, if you ground them or punish them, the worst thing is to put them in a room by themselves for a long period of time. It's horrible. Another thing, because they wear their feelings, so to speak, on their sleeves and they're sensitive. I have one son who this is also his second learning personality. And I remember I told you before in another workshop, another series, another course I'd done, that I liked red pens when I started homeschooling. I don't know why. I thought I liked red pens. I don't like red pens, but I thought I did because I thought I had to be a teacher. So when he brought me his writing, and I got this red pen and I started marking these X's on it, oh my goodness, it was just like placing an X on his heart, because this is his heart's work. And of all of the kids that you're teaching, this is the one that takes it the hardest, the most. And I went back and erased all those the best I could. They just want feedback, because they're so sensitive when you do something, because you mean everything to them. The relationship with you as the teacher is also everything. That's why they do well in school when you're teaching them. They do well in your homeschool, because it's the relationship with you is what means most to them. So when you start marking that red X all over their work, they don't like that. They just want you to tell them how it is. It's like putting an X on their heart. Yes, it sounds dramatic, but it is. That's how these people are. They have a lot of good strengths, and we want to be sure we understand them. Okay, here is what they are good at. They're good at spontaneity, being fun, creative writing, foreign language, poetry, drama. They love those things. They have a huge concern for others, fellow feeling. They're the ones in the group that are so worried when two other people aren't getting along. They'll try to smooth it out between the two, because it's so important to have harmony. We can't go forward until we have harmony. So they're very social. They're very adaptable. They're very outgoing. And they really have the ability to understand how people feel. In my experience also, I found out there's really two kinds. I feel like there's two kinds of this creative Chrissy and creative Chris. One is more of an introvert. She likes people, but she has a small circle that are important to her. But they're important because what they say and how they feel, that's of utmost importance. Then you have another type, I call it the extrovert creative Chrissy, and they're like the party animal. The more the merrier, to let's make this party. They're into people, friends. It can almost be exhausting to have to keep up with their social life. And sometimes we have to get them to balance, to not have so much social life or not care so much what other people think. Okay, that's a description on Creative Chris and Creative Chrissy. I'm going to share the teaching tips and the subjects they like.